or I'd be like, Mom, can you call your salon and get me a haircut? I mean,
that's the difference between ebony and ivory.
Exactly, right. We're coming together in perfect harmony as always, all right? Yo, what up? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned, and that's right. We're back for another Sunday night, week 3. Me, Simms, and DMac.
Let's go.
Which I messed up one time. Somebody came up. Who was that came up to me on the field and was like, "Wait, where's DMac? Where's DMac?" And I'm like, "Who?" And they're like, "Devin, McCourty." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, duh."
I know him.
I know. I'm losing, my coolness. That's what I'm starting to realize. Just the slang and, being around
we all get
room.
older. We all get older.
I know, but I'm getting...
Think about it now. The new thing is 6'7". Who would have thought that would be a thing? 6'7".
I don't even know if I get that.
None of us know what it means.
Okay.
But, because you react if your kids say it,
right.
You're instantly oh, he gets it. But we don't really get it.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I have
you're
no
right.
idea what
I've
it
seen
means.
the things on Instagram, and I'm like, I don't really understand. They called number 67, and the kids went crazy, and I'm like, what? I don't get it.
The game last Monday when it was Houston and Tampa, and it was 7-6, and they showed it going to commercial. All I saw were tweets everywhere. It was like ESPN has no idea what they just did.
Yeah, and so you don't know either, really.
I don't know why.
Why? Right. All right. Yeah, that's
my brother said his son.
Yeah.
If they're playing in a game.
Yeah.
And the score involves somehow, if they got 67 points in a basketball game, they will not shoot or try to score another point.
All right. Well, one of the homies, some of the homies out there that are cooler than me, which is probably most of you, all right? Please let us know what the hell that's all about, all right? Help me out. Help me out, old dad. Help out young dad, Devin McCourty, and let us be cool, okay? Let's try to figure that out. But week 3, crazy one. I mean, crazy. I don't even know where to start, really. I mean, we got a lot of places to start. We're going to hit all the games, as always. We're going to break things down. But, I mean, week 1 was ugly offense. Defenses dominated the show. Low-scoring games. Week 2, we had no defense.
40-point
offense
games,
just exploding everywhere.
Yep.
This week, we have some high-scoring games, but not necessarily because of the offense.
Yeah.
Special teams, defense, right? I mean, it was a defensive day, but yet there was points scored still.
And week 1 felt like more bad offense than good defense, where this week felt like we saw some good defensive plays. Obviously, it involved some bad decisions on offense, but Isaiah Rodgers went out there, he made plays. It wasn't just, oh, this is an overthrow. No, it was all right, I get one tip ball, but I'm punching the ball out. So it was fun to see guys jumping over people.
Holy cow,
kicks.
the block field goals,
man.
kick returns, punt returns. I mean, we really saw it all today. You just saw there, Pete put the graphic up, 9 non-offensive touchdowns today, right? From people, whether it was pick sixes, a return punt, return kick, you see it all there. And of all those teams, and we all know, I mean, when you create a turnover, turnovers and explosive plays are the way to go to win football games. The Jets were the only team not to win with one of these non-offensive TDs. We'll break it down as we go, all right? But we got 3-0 drama is going to be our first thing we start here. Last-second wins to stay undefeated. We talked about it a little last week with the Philadelphia Eagles. They've stolen the magic of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, look, lackluster through 2.5 quarters where, I mean, you're hearing me. I'm frustrated watching it going, oh, my gosh, the Eagles offense, they got nothing. Are they going to do anything? I mean, holy cow, it's just you're too talented to play like that. The Rams having their way, up 26-7 at one point, but the Eagles continue to play, and, man, their ballers balled out in the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, and you said it in the screening room, which was a small thing, but early in the game, the Rams did dominate, and you said it. What, in the red zone?
To me, one of the things, we're going to talk about the big plays, but the Rams early on in the game driving the ball, they could have been up more than 26-7. The field goals that the Eagles held the Rams offense to early on in the football games are one of those, it's not going to be in a stat book or anything like that, but we had 7-3 Philadelphia. Then it went 10-7 Rams. They moved right down the field. They drove down the field again, hit a 28-yard field goal. So that means they're around the 10-yard line. You have to settle for 3 there. Same thing again. Get inside the 20-yard line, settle for 3 one more time, and then 3 right before the half to where, you played like crap, and we've all been a part of these games as players where you go, we played like crap, but we're still in it going into halftime. They didn't put us away. And this was the golden case of it. We start the Eagles the second half, turnover right away, Rams score, and it kind of feels like, oh, okay, The Eagles just don't got it today. And I thought that was the moment I was like, oh, the Rams they're going to pull this off. And right on cue was Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and big pass plays right after that.
And that's why you invest in those guys. And I think everyone loves the end of the year, what the numbers look like, your stats, and what conversations are you in, all pro. And don't get me wrong, like you need that. But this is when it matters. Like this is when you get down. You just said it. The game's not going your way. It's not your day. What do we now do? Because we're playing against a team that we know some way, somehow, this game's going to be important, this head-to-head matchup. And A.J. Brown, credit to him, whether he is frustrated or he isn't, it hasn't shown. He's continuing to come up, do what he needs to do. Right. And now they go down. A.J., the ball needs to go to you. We need you to make plays. And that's what he did. It's not like he was out here wide open because the Rams are running zone. They were all over A.J. Brown. They did a good job against this Eagle offense. Bottled Saquon Barkley up. Played man-to-man, played zone, but
match zones in the back end. Right.
He had some catches where, like, Darius Williams is hanging.
They're all over him. Right.
And he made a catch. And a credit to Jalen Hurts of, hey, I'm doing what I need to do to win the game. There's been games this year, protect the ball, run, throw it underneath. Today, the throw down the middle to Dallas Goedert, throwing it to A.J. Brown, fourth down, not blinking, hitting Devontae Smith. And he said it last week. He said Devontae Smith didn't make a lot of plays, but when I needed him, I threw it up there. He came down with a catch against Kansas City. They have that magic this year.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
Chiefs had it last year, and they ran out of it in the last game of the year.
Right.
I don't know if the Eagles run out of it because they have so much talent. But, I mean, it's showing up for them in a big way.
It's showing up. I mean, the defense is they changed it up on the Chiefs last week. Mm-hmm. They looked like they changed it up on the Rams in the middle of this game a little bit too, right? We didn't see, like, surgical Matthew Stafford take over like we did last week. We talked about in the Tennessee Titan game. We were like, they kind of figured out how they were going to play. And all of a sudden it was just boom, 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 Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. Today, we got Puka Nacua. We got a few plays from Devontae Adams, but felt like they never really cracked the code in the second half again. And the Eagles changed things up. And I think we're seeing Vic Fangio do some different stuff on defense as compared to what people expected. Yep. I mean, he's famous for cover four and his zone coverages and his match zones and all of that. And he's keeping everybody on their toes right now. Another thing that popped to me with the Rams is just the five-man fronts early on in the football game. And I think the Eagles, we've yet to see their run game get going this year and in general.
That's everybody's focus.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles, I have no questions about them more than I just wish they would add a little bit more to their playbook versatility, right? You hear me talk about that all the time. You talked about A.J. Brown and some of the routes he ran. It wasn't like it's, integral or you look at it and go, oh, my gosh, what a game plan play. But at the same time, right? I mean, okay, why does football – it's a lost art in football a little bit. Oh, you're going to play five-man front? Oh, we're going to have one-on-one on the outside? We're just going to play our guys better than your guy. And like you said, they take a go route to start it off, A.J. Brown. Then they go, oh, shit, they're going to throw the ball here. Let's check to a cover two. Dallas Goedert's wide open right down the middle of the field. And I think from that point on, they kind of had the Rams defense like, what do we do? Yeah. We still want to stop Saquon Barkley in the run game, but we're going to leave guys one-on-one. And then it became curl routes where AJ is just bigger and moving people out of the way. Yes, that's my only complaint with the Eagles. I mean, again, here they are, 33-26, the magical block kicks and everything there. They're in danger of losing. We're going to wax poetically about them 3-0. And and 3-0, 3-0, but they haven't played a real good football game yet. And I think that's scary for the rest of the NFL. Right.
And I do think on the opposite side of that, the Rams, you go back and you say, I don't know if we could have played this game any better.
Right.
We had 2 field goals blocked.
Yeah.
2 field goals blocked. This is the game we want to play. Did A.J. Brown, did Devontae Smith make some plays? Yes. But we didn't let this guy run for 200 yards.
I think they're willing to win with that formula right there.
And I know if I'm McVay, I come back in and say, fellas, just execute something we do all the time. We line up and we do field goal protection. We have to – they used to say get ran over slowly on field goal protection.
Yeah.
We can't get destroyed and get ran out of there and get our field goal blocked. And then our kicker, we got to get the ball up.
Definitely.
We got to get the ball up. We know they're going to have middle push. They have 2 beasts inside with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
Lining up next to each other.
You know what you're going to get.
Right.
Hold on. So
I was joking at the end of regulation at one point. You heard me.
Yeah.
Because they were calling timeouts, and I was like, that's right. Just let Jalen Carter rest so he can block the field goal. Yep. Let them, and I was joking. I didn't really think it was going to happen. We saw it already, but there they are, the Georgia duo, Maria Taylor's best friends. They go in there and block the field goal. Yeah, I'm still amazed by the Eagles. They just don't panic when they're down either. I think that's the other impressive thing about them. They really just continue to show confidence on their face. That's the one thing I love about Jalen Hurts. He's unflappable that way. And they're, again, if they don't turn the ball over and make mistakes, they're just hard to beat. Yep. I guess what I want to say is just be a little more creative on offense, be a little more aggressive, I think, on offense too, right? Like we saw in the second half. What took so long for us to push the ball down the field a little earlier in the game? Yeah. They were playing that same defense the whole first half. So devastating loss for the Rams. But I think, like you said, the Rams can look at it in a lot of ways and go, hey, we were toe-to-toe. We had chances to win. We blew it. Next time we play them, we got to be better in the red zone because that's what let them hang around. Nonetheless, the Eagles are magical. We know they are studs across the board and win the football game to go 3-0. All right, let's go down to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, the Jets. We kind of made fun of the Jets already because they were one of those teams that had one of those non-offensive touchdowns, didn't do anything. We had the Will McDonald block field goal at the end of the game where we thought, ooh, that might win it for the Jets. But we all looked at each other. Well, yeah, we looked at each other, I think, right away and went, well, there's a minute and 56 left with Baker Mayfield. And right now he's captain comeback. He's the clutchest guy in the game. The Bucs, to win today, right, controlled the game, dealing with a lot of injuries.
3 injuries on offensive line.
O-line's messed up. No Kalijah Cansey. So you got issue there. There's still no Chris Godwin's. Mike Evans gets hurt with looked like a high hamstring, which scares me because he's grabbing up by his butt, right? And we all know when it's up there, just so you know, Dr. Simms and McCourty will tell you that when it's that high, that's like the worst one.
That takes a while.
It takes a while for that to heal. The insertion between the glute and the hamstring that way. But the one thing I come back to, I mean, kind of a sloppy game, a little bit all over the place, penalties. The Jets continue to do some weird things. But the formula of how the Bucs operate, I do love that. That's what jumps out to me more than anything is they're pretty patient with the run, and they have a good run game, and we know that when their offensive line's healthy and all that. The screen game is phenomenal. I think it's arguably the best screen game to receivers in all the sport. And then the next part of that is they push the ball down the field. So that right there in itself, you just take those 3 elements for a defense, you go, wait, we got to stop power run game, we got to stop Ibuka and things on the screen game, and then, oh no, they might drop back and hold the ball for 4 seconds and he throws a 30 or 40-yard bomb down the football field, and it's effective for the Tampa Bay
Or
Buccaneers.
He can keep it.
Or he keeps it and make something happen. Right.
I agree with you. They hit you on every different level. And what I love about the National Football League is every week you can't go out there and play the same way. Yeah. So to me, a little bit for Tampa, it was, okay, we are down 3 offensive linemen. We're also playing against a backup quarterback who's now coming in Tyrod Taylor, an offense that's been a little up and down. Baker, let's play smart. Yeah. Hey, we didn't run the ball well, but we gave the ball to Bucky Irvin 25 times, and then Rachaad White still had 5 carries. We're going to stick to running the ball. Bucky Irvin,
attempts are important.
A little 2.5 yards a carry. But it's like we're going to keep doing this.
We're going to keep our defense fresh. We're going to make them respect the run. Right.
We're not going to let this Jets defensive line that we know has some players line up. We're not going to be one-dimensional.
Yeah, just let them tee off and pass rush. Right.
And it's a credit to that because the game was tight. Even when it felt like they were going to pull away, the Jets stuck around. Right. And I think you're able to do that when you say, you know what? We got that guy at quarterback. We believe in him. He can make the play, and that's what they did today. And they made enough plays, even though Will McDonald, you think you're going in for the field goal, game over, blocks, and you're like, oh, we're in a whole different game.
Well, you said there were some rough moments with that Bucs offense.
Tyquan
Thornton's having a day. He just dropped one on the 1-yard line that they thought that he caught just like this. Just so you know, Giants are sitting here right now losing 16-9. The Chiefs don't look real impressive. They've let the Giants hang around. It's been an ugly football game, but Mahomes has made a few throws here in the fourth quarter, and Tyquan Thornton's the only guy that can stretch the field. He's the only guy. So they had a play before we got down to the 1, and the ball hit the ground, McCourty, and then he went right back to it. He caught it, and now they punch it in. It's 23-9. The Giants are probably done, but we're used to saying that. Shocker is exactly right, Pete. One more thing, like you were talking about with Baker. I mean, Baker got hit a lot today.
Yeah.
There was issues there. They couldn't
Last
run the
week, too,
football.
when you
right.
combine that.
Yes. So but at the end of the day, I do look at the Bucs and go, man, if they get healthy, they got a lot of things about their football team that I like. Had the big pick six on the back end. We know they got big people on defense. They can rush the passer a little bit that way as well. So they have parts of their team where I think we can all look at it and know when they're at their best, I think they're going to be a major player in the NFC. I don't think that's shocking to anybody, but it seems like they got the pieces there and the coaching to go along with it.
And you know what excited me today for Tampa?
Right.
Antoine Winfield Jr. popped today. And he had that amazing year 2 years ago, dealt with injuries last year.
Right.
It just felt like, again, we talked about it that year where he was amazing of, man, when he's on the field, he just brings a different edge to this defense. Had a strip sack in the game.
Had another sack, I think, or hit the quarterback as he was throwing it.
He's just a special type of player. And I think in their defense, he's a little different than everybody.
Yeah.
He's like what Levante David was when he was younger. He was like, man, Levante David's really good against the run. Man, Levante David can really cover. It was like, man, this linebacker's different. He's fast. He can hit. He's not like – usually the fast linebackers don't really want to hit linemen. They want to
right.
And Antoine Winfield Jr., man, he can cover.
He's got an edge.
He can play deep. He can blitz. He does so much for them. So I thought that was really good for their defense, seeing him back in that playmaker role.
Yeah, totally on that. I think one thing with the Jets, let's just hit on them a little bit. It's 2 weeks in a row, no run game really to speak of, which I mean, I'm shocked after week one the way it looked, right? I thought they'd be more successful that. We haven't seen Breece Hall really get off at all. And I think the other thing we just got to look for going forward here with the Jets, just one concern is are we going to be able to throw to anybody but Garrett Wilson? Is anybody else going to be a threat on this offense? I mean, right now it's a Breece Hall, hopefully he breaks a run, or we hope Garrett Wilson can make a big play. But there's nobody else to defend. There's nothing else to defend. Some bad penalties on the first drive that allowed the Bucs on this ugly, long field goal drive where they shouldn't have got points there. Either way, Jets are 0-3, and the last 2 weeks have not looked good. That first game gave us a little hope, I think, for them. But at the last 2 weeks, it was ugly on the offensive side of the ball. And I'll sit here and still say the same thing I said all week. I don't like Aaron Glenn letting Steve Wilks call the play. I like Steve Wilks. It's nothing personal against him. I got no issue. He's been a really good defensive mind for a long time in the NFL. My point is just that you brought Aaron Glenn in because he was doing special things in Detroit, and I would still want him, if not calling the plays,
heavily
involved, like we saw maybe Bill in New England or that, where it's like you're in every defensive meeting. They're calling the plays because you've said you can call that. You can do that.
We were always in between Bill being kind of the coordinator, and even when he wasn't, like I remember talking to our defensive coaches of like, we come up with the plan, and then we basically go, hey, Bill, this is what we came up with. And then he went through it with them and would be like, take that out. I don't like this. How about we add? Right. And it was like that influence too. Then when we got towards the end of the season, those guys were like, man, he's kind of just breezing over our thing and then just giving it back to us.
Because he trusts
now it turned into you guys are thinking how I'm thinking.
Right.
So our defense is coming to life because you're taking ownership. But it's a lot of what I've taught you, and you feel what I want out of a defense. So I definitely understand that. I like that Aaron Glenn's trying to be the full head coach.
Yeah, I hear you there.
But I don't like, and I think it's the hardest thing for these guys when you step in, you become the head coach. Whatever side of the ball you're on, that can't be where you're struggling a little bit.
No.
Like that has to be where you excel.
That's my point. That's why Brian Daboll's in trouble with the Giants. It's nobody wants to see that. Daniel Jones went somewhere else and did good, and we have the offensive coach. Right. That's what I'm saying it for Aaron Glenn. Right. I mean, everyone's going to judge the defense. You're a defensive coach.
Harshly,
so that's the last thing. Either way, we like the Bucs, and I just go, man, the Bucs, like I said, healthy with a Chris Godwin. Sterling Shepard looks good down there in Tampa Bay,
Sterling Shepard.
They found a nice little role for him.
Yes, we got to give him some credit. I thought his career was over.
Right. I mean, he's found a spot, runs his little option routes, gets the little wide receiver screens.
Clutch plays and stuff, yeah.
Chris Godwin gets back healthy. Mike Evans gets back healthy. I mean, Cade Otton. I mean, they got
Devin.
They
We
got
forgot
some,
about
yeah,
him.
I know. So they got some stuff there. So we'll see where that goes. But Bucs 3-0, way to go, our matey. All right, the 49ers 3-0. It ain't the prettiest 3-0 in the world, but either way, they pull it off against the Arizona Cardinals. The 49ers, I mean, Mac Jones playing well. He played well in the second half. He did a lot of good things other than maybe the safety when he was dancing around the end zone with a bad knee and they got the holding call.
Get rid of it, Mac.
But that's not what you
do.
Exactly right. That's not Mac's game. 49ers, though, the defense and I think efficient passing game, and they're just going to use Ricky Pearsall right now and Christian McCaffrey. And we've yet to see the run game get going, but their defense is making plays, and for the most part, their offense isn't messing things up or not making major mistakes, and they win a football game 16-50. I don't know how to feel about the 49ers yet. Like, I know they're 3-0. Right? But I don't sit here and go, oh, I think they're one of the best teams in football. I think they're a work in progress, and I just don't know how good they are quite yet.
Nothing is dominant.
No.
You know, like the defense is playing well.
Yeah.
It's not dominant. You know, like
Right.
we haven't seen them, I would say, I think the way they played against Seattle, like that was a good showing for a defense. But then, like, you go play New Orleans, you play Arizona, which, like, yeah, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. had a couple just, like, really bad drops today in the game. So, yeah, I fully understand that. I give a lot of credit to Kyle Shanahan because I think this game was played the exact way they don't want to play.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't think they want Mac dropping back, throwing the ball 40 times, can't run the ball. But, like, what I love about that is as a head coach / coordinator, you got to control what you can control. So, hey, Mac, if we're going to throw the ball a lot, we're going to keep throwing the ball to Pearsall and McCaffrey. They're going to get a ton of targets, whether it's short throws down the field. Like, let's make sure we're getting the ball to our best guys, our most trusted guys. And I think that has to do with a lot of the game plan and how you decide to attack.
Right.
And I always thought, like, when we played Kyle Shanahan in that San Fran offense, he just did things that was hard. Like, we predicate our whole defense on we're game planning you for just this week. And I remember we played them in 2020, and it was like, shit, they game planned us for just this week.
Exactly right.
And it was like tight ends outside,
yeah,
bubble screens of Debo behind, George Kittle.
They knew if they stayed in 21, you guys were going to be their big people, and they were going to be faster than them.
And, I mean, they killed us.
Right.
And I walked away from that game like, man, like, and we got crushed. It was like 33-6.
Right.
And you didn't play well as players, but I also walked away and was like, shit, we got outcoached today too.
Yeah, he got Bill's number a few times there at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And again, I think we're seeing that with a team that doesn't have all the weapons that they're used to having. We've talked about that the last 2 years. They have so many different guys. You can check it down to McCaffrey, and that's a big play. They don't have all that this year.
No, they don't.
And they're still 3-0.
Yeah, not being able to run the ball. We haven't seen the Shanahan run scheme really take off yet. But to echo your point, I think that's where Shanahan's special is that he knows how to feature guys. Mm-hmm. He knows how to feature them, and then he also knows what he's going to do after you feature him and what you've done to take that away to where he'll now access another part of the playbook, right? He said some interesting things to me in the past a little bit because sometimes I've been like, man, do you ever want Julio Jones back? I mean, because like you play good teams and they just double him and they take him away, or do you like having like all these, a lot of good receivers? And I'll never forget, he was just like, man, I'd take Julio back. Andre Johnson, because he's like, the other thing you don't think about is what you're going to get when you have them. Yep. So it opens up a whole nother part of the playbook, and that's where Shanahan, I think he's trying to get right now. But is a Ricky Pearsall going to get that much attention? I don't know if he is yet, but either way,
he's playing the way he's playing right
exactly
now.
Right. You're gonna have to start taking him away because of what you're seeing. Shanahan's gonna put him in spots to scheme him open and take advantage of defenses that way. Crazy game. I mean, the 49ers got stopped inside the 5 at one point trying to score. Then Kyler Murray almost took a safety in the end zone. It was a safety, right? That gave a short field touchdown to start the fourth quarter of the 49ers. That's how they went up 13-6. But I think to your point, what I'm trying to say here is a total team effort. Like the defense isn't dominant like it was when they went to the Super Bowl, but it's still really damn good, and they're going to be a pain in the ass. Sucks they lose Nick Bosa. He got banged up, so whatever that's going to be, I don't know where that goes. But Eddie Pinheiro making the big field goals that way. Real quickly on the Cardinals, James Conner's done. broken, and it sounds like he's got to get surgery. He's out for the year, so that's already. You said it. Marvin Harrison Jr. dropped a few balls. One where he was wide open, uncovered, and you think, oh man, he might have scored a touchdown, right? Another one he dropped. It ended up being pass interference. They scored that way, but I guess still, what I want to say is, I'm a little disappointed in Arizona's offense, I think, through 3 games.
How do they get other people involved?
How do they get other people involved? And we just haven't seen a lot of explosive plays in the pass game or anything there to this point, to where I know they're 2-1 and they're playing tough, but I'm just looking to the future and what some other avenues they're going to be able to attack right now. And I think that's the thing I look at. I don't think their O-line's going to be so dominant they're just going to be able to run on anybody in any given time during the year. Some of these receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, right, Higgins, Michael Wilson, they're going to have to start showing up. It can't just be Trey McBride and we're going to get, Marvin Harrison Jr. a few plays every game. Not good enough in that department. Either way, 49ers get the win, and they're 3-0 with the easiest schedule in football so far. And this is why a lot of people pick the 49ers, I think, to win the NFC West, even though I don't think they're as good as the Rams. They looked at the schedule and went, it sets up really nicely for them.
And Purdy's back in practice.
Purdy should be back next week.
And if I'm them, I'm telling him, like, let's not rush. Like, we like what we have here.
Sure.
And Mac Jones, he's playing well. Like, don't come back until, like, we know you're ready, so we don't create a situation where you're not really ready. The guy that came in for you is actually playing decent,
Now we got to take you out because you're not playing good and you're not totally healthy.
Just, you're paid already. Get healthy.
That's right. That's right. Healthy. That's the big thing. All right, awesome game out west, the Chargers and the Broncos. The Chargers, they got something about them. They do. They have a belief in their football team. I know we talked about it even at the Hall of Fame game. You could feel it on the field. They think they're a good team. Justin Herbert's gone to another level. That's the first thing I want to say. Justin Herbert, to me, was some of the, outside the pocket backyard plays. Also, like, some times in the game where he's yelling at people a little bit, showing emotion, showing leadership that way that I really like. So, I just look at that, and then I'm a huge fan of what they do on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, what they do in the secondary, how they call their defense, the creativity, the mixing of coverages, how they pass things off, I think it's top-notch. I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC. I feel bad for the Broncos because they could easily be sitting here 3-0. It's 2 weeks in a row. They lose with a last-second field goal. But I think our bottom line is the Chargers are real.
No doubt about it. And I was one of those people, I was highly critical of Justin Herbert because I kept comparing it. Like, I hated that, like, we would have this guy, Jalen Hurts, and it was just like he would get torn down about everything, about winning. Like, you're not – and I'm like, here we are. And I know Justin Herbert is, immensely talented. Yeah. But I'm like, why do we keep trying to just give him so much hype and credit for that? And this guy that's winning, doing what we're saying people need to do. But this year, Justin Herbert has said, I'm winning these games. And I remember being at the Hall of Fame and saying, man, can a coach really make a guy this type of figure and all that in the locker room? And yes, it is horrible, but I think this is Herbert and his maturation of saying, this is the next step in who I need to be great. Like, that's a choice.
I think
and it feels like he's doing that with, hey, I know in a game when I need to make a crazy play, when I need to scramble, do something
he's got the right touch right now.
I know, and, like, he threw one up to Johnson today that I'm like,
we both were like, risky. Damn, that is right.
Then he goes up and gets it.
Yeah, right.
And I love that for a quarterback because it is. That was a part of Justin Herbert's thing too is, hey, when I first came in the league, I had Keenan Allen, I had Michael Williams. I throw it up to these two dudes. They're coming down with it. Then, okay, we transition away from them. I don't know what I have. Now he's like, man, I trust these guys. I'm going to give them a chance. The ball to Johnson and then the one to Keenan Allen.
Yeah, running to the left.
I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to throw this up.
Right.
And they've made the plays. And, again, you already hit on it. What the defense does, what I hated most is when defense lined up and they said, hey, look, guys, this is what we're in. Right. We're not going to move. No, the Chargers.
I love that as a quarterback.
It's going to be a guy here, then he's going to rotate. Derwin James is going to be deep one play, then he's going to be in the slot. Oh, then he's blitzing. And a part of the blitzing, he's going to run a game with a defensive end and go and hit a tackle. Like, they just do a good amount of things, not too crazy.
Yeah, not too crazy.
Over the top.
Right.
But like it's man, but then it's zone that plays like man. Then it's zone that plays like true zone.
Right.
It's always moving, and it makes it hard for quarterbacks to come out and have a good – you can have good moments.
Right.
But a full good day –
very hard against the Chargers. And I think that's what we saw today a little bit. Really, the game had some ebbs and flows. Early on in the game, it was like, wow, the Chargers are clearly the better team. The Broncos offense couldn't do jack diddly squat. They got into a 4th and 2, and they took a shot down the field, which is something that we pub here on the pod last year a lot. Because big plays are hard to come by.
Yeah.
And running for 1 or 2 yards in 4th and short's not that easy.
Because you still got to go drive the field.
Well, and it's just like to say, like, we're going to run the ball up the middle for 2 yards on 4th and 2. We're like, we know all these big tackles and linebackers in football and crazy safeties and everything. They know it's coming too. Right. So that was my point. It was like they're basically going, we dare you to throw it deep. We don't dare. And Sean Payton had the guts to do it there, which I liked. And then all of a sudden, to start a flow of the football game where it was like, whoa, like they're moving the ball at will here and kind of have control of the football game to the middle part of the game. And then at the end, it kind of went back the other way again where the Chargers took control. The Broncos are still really good. Their defense still is sick and talented.
I thought that's what was good for them today.
Right?
I thought that defense played better.
Definitely.
Like not a good showing and not the way they wanted to play last week against Indy. Even though they still had a shot to win.
Right.
Defensively, that's not how they wanted to play. I thought they had a better showing against a good offensive football team.
This is a good offensive football team. It's official. It's good.
Yeah.
Greg Roman, what he's doing in the pass game is more than I've ever seen, right? He's got a lot of crap in his life for some of the things he's done. He's always been good in the run game. And now it's going to be the Omarion Hampton show because Najee Harris is done. It looks like he tore his Achilles, and we feel bad for him. That's never nice to see, man. I mean, seriously, good luck with that, Najee Harris. But the other thing with the Broncos, like defense, we talked about it, but I still don't think it's been as dominant as we expected, right?
Yeah, I think I had him. I think I had him 1.
I mean, I don't think I would have had him in the top 3 for sure.
And it hasn't been that.
It hasn't been that. You know, we've seen them get run on. We've seen too many big plays in the pass game, I think, really, and especially the last 2 weeks. You know, they're one of those sometimes where I go, do you have to go for the slaughter on every situation, right? I think they maybe play things too aggressively at times.
That's what happens after a year. Like, I want people to know, like, all offseason, if you were one of the top 5 defenses, every offense is studying you.
Right.
They want to know what you're doing. Why? Because they know other teams are going to start doing what you're doing. Like, we're going to see, for the Chargers to be now at it another year playing this style of defense, we're going to start to see a lot of teams try to watch this on defense and say, oh, damn, I like what they just did right there. Okay, they matched it like that. All right, hey, I know so-and-so, that's a linebacker coach over there. Let me call them and ask them how they see this. And the next thing you know, you'll see more teams doing it. So offenses try to stay ahead of the curve and say, all right, we're going to break down 10 plays from the Chargers last year and how to attack. Or like this year for Denver, we're going to break down 10 games. How do we break it down? How do we attack? And I think we're seeing a little bit of that. Played a lot of man-to-man. All right, you're getting crosses, but now we're putting certain guys in these situations. We know how to attack you. So I think they have to be better prepared for some of those things. And like now, what's your counterpunch? What do you decide now to do to trick the team? And now what's coming next?
Yeah, no, I think you're a little bit right in that. I feel like the story you're telling is what we saw from Cleveland 2 years ago. Awesome defense. Last year they weren't good because everybody studied them. And now this year,
Schwartz is like, okay.
Oh, yeah, I got some change-ups for you because everybody caught up to everything I was doing there. Broncos, I'll say this just on out the door. They're still a good football team. I still believe in them at 1 and 2. Too many good players throughout. But I do worry about maybe lack of scary guys on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't know if they're that good on the offensive line where they're just going to be able to impose their physical will running the ball on everybody every week. And then, you know, after that, I just get a little into, we had a Cortland Sutton day today. But last week it wasn't Cortland Sutton. It was Franklin. Yeah. And it's just like, who's it going to be? Yeah. And it can't just be one guy 1 week who has like really good high-functioning offenses have stat lines like we see the Chargers. Quentin Johnson had 90 yards. Keenan Allen had 65. Omarion Hampton had 60, right? Gatson and McConkey are in the 40s. That, to me, is high-functioning offense. Not one guy had 100, and then the next guy is our running back with 14 yards receiving. Yeah. No, that's a problem right there. So that's got to be figured out a little bit.
Remember watching, they hit a flea flicker that Nix just misses.
Oh,
Nix missed, and then later in the game,
you're right,
missed on another deep ball to Quez Johnson, I think it was.
Right.
That might have been difference makers in the game if he's able to connect on those pass plays. So
yeah, he hasn't been as sharp as he can be yet either.
Go.
He's made some mistakes in all 3 games really, and missed a few throws. No doubt about that. This is next gen stats. Here we go. Justin Herbert was pressured on 54.7% of his dropbacks against the Broncos. That's the highest pressure rate he's faced in any game of his career. And yeah, it was real. That's what the Broncos D line. Nick Bonito came around the edge. Yeah. I saw him beat Alt once for sure as we were watching. But yeah, they got some dudes between him. Him, DJ Jones in the middle, the Cooper off the other edge. I mean, they got some players we know. I think they bounce back. They're still going to get into things here, as we know, and I think they're a player in the AFC. All right, we're going to take a break. We got more football to talk about, more 3-0 teams. We got give me the headlines. Yeah, Devin can't wait to hear my headlines. That's always a positive. We'll be right back after the break. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly, and $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Just download the Sportsbook app, use promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. All right, so we got some lines here. Super Bowl odds for the 3-0 teams as we see here, right? The Bills and the Eagles are the favorites. I'm shocked that the Bills are double the favorites the Eagles are. I'm a little surprised by that. I still got some questions about the Bills as a football team. I mean, they won last week.
So
Thursday, they won, but it was by the skin of their teeth. There's still some issues here. I think the betting public is a little too high on the Bills and Josh Allen. That's just my thought on the matter. But we'll see where it goes. I of course like the Eagles. I like the Chargers a lot. I like the Bucs a lot if they get healthy. Those are teams that jump out to me. I'm not really sure if I'm ready to put the Colts in the Super Bowl window. I'm ready to put them in a pain in the ass for everybody the rest of the year, but not the Super Bowl window quite yet.
Believe in Indiana Jones. He's ready to go.
Oh, yeah. Don't you worry. We're going to be talking about him.
Out of all these teams, I think Buffalo and Philly are obvious that they'll be there. I think the Chargers right now, for how they looked, I think that's a good sign for them, and I think they're a team that's for real. I think they can be contenders at the end of the year that we're talking about. All right, we're not shocked they're here. I think for them, it's what do they do when they get to the playoffs?
Yeah,
that's
right. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Herbert and Harbaugh because Harbaugh he doesn't have the greatest reputation in the playoffs either, really, when it comes down to it. All right, but now is one of our favorites. And by the way, nice T-shirt today.
Appreciate it.
You said you're going to wear a new one every time. Right. That's cool.
JTJB,
yeah,
baby.
hey, that's a special. Did they have NBA Jam any day? And now, is this still a game? Right?
I'm sure on something.
It is something? I don't know.
It came back alive maybe my second or third year.
That'd be a tough duo in NBA
NFL.
Jam with those two right there. That'd be a tough one for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Celtics. I always used to go to the games.
Yeah, I bet you did. Listen, Boston sports are amazing. I'm a New Yorker. So I just can never quite give them total credit, right?
Yeah.
All right, I understand.
Go Pats, though.
Yeah,
Go Pats.
yeah. I like the Pats in a lot of ways. I respect the Red Sox. I like the Celtics. You're in a tough spot. You're a guy that's from New York, but then you played up there and they paid you all this money. Now you love them. All right. All right, let's go to Hyundai. Give me the headlines. As always, presented by Hyundai. I already said that. I'm an idiot, and I'm still learning how to do my hosting duties here.
It doesn't matter as long as your headlines are great.
But it's about to be a good one here. Colts defeat the Titans. Yeah. Taylor Swift. No, not that one. Okay, that's the headline. Not that one. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. We talked about this a little bit during the day. I think we even hit on it last week. I think he's the most under-talked about awesome running back in the sport right now. And today I said to you, I was like, why? And you kind of gave an answer, and go ahead. I think you're right.
I think he's had some injuries in years that he was doing well. Like maybe it was my last year or my second last year, 2021. We're in a tough game. Wentz is the quarterback. And, I think he threw the ball for 60 yards against us in the game. I think it was a Sunday night game.
Yeah, right.
And it's fourth down. We got to get the ball back. We have everybody at the line of scrimmage. He jump cuts, and then I think 65 yards.
Yeah.
No one called.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night game, I believe.
Oh, maybe it was Thursday night game.
Right, yeah.
And takes off for a touchdown. So, players that when you have to play against him, you know exactly what you're going against, and you see that in these first 3 weeks. And I love that when you get a new quarterback. I always feel like it makes the team say, you know what, all right, we don't know exactly what we have with Daniel Jones. We like what he's done so far. Hey, we're going to rely on Jonathan Taylor early,
right.
Throwing the ball to him, giving him the ball on handoffs. And what has that done? Daniel Jones like, hey, I know about this. I play with Saquon Barkley. You want me to hand it off to him? Cool. You want me to throw it to him?
Yeah,
Like, I'm all for it because now you see it's opened up everything else. Other guys getting involved. And we keep saying it. This Colts team has so many weapons to use.
They got a lot of options.
And Shane Steichen is doing it. He's using these guys. Tyler Warren's a guy he's putting in numerous situations. They're throwing the ball down the field to all the receivers. So they've been fun to watch in these first 3 weeks.
Yeah,
man.
they're one of the more fun. I mean, you know, Indiana Jones. Yeah, he's here. He's saving the day. But it's a great offense, and I think it fits him really well. And they got everything. They really do. Well, you got a good old line, the tight end, like you said about. I think it's the most underrated receiving group of the world. And then you couple that with playing a Tennessee Titans team that is just not good on the offensive side of the ball. You throw a pick six to start the game against a team like the Colts, you're in trouble. So it's pick six and it's a field goal. Then slowly but surely the Titans start to have their way. You not only do that, but then coaching decisions go into it too. So this was another part of the game that I thought was crazy, was the fact that here we are, the Titans, right, down 10-3. I think they're feeling the pressure a little bit. They try to attempt the 62-yard field goal. They give the short field to the Colts, who then go ahead and get a score, and it's everything in Tennessee right now. It's hard to look at it. Yeah, Cam Ward's not going to look great. I mean, they don't run the ball that well. They don't have great weapons in the pass game. The system's not delivering a whole lot of free, easy plays for the quarterback right now. And against a team like the Indianapolis Colts, where the defense is flying high, like Shane Steichen's in a groove, and Daniel Jones, I got to imagine, is having so much fun shoving it up everybody's you-know-what and going, hey, look, I am pretty good. I mean, he's taking advantage just about of everything. I mean, if there's a guy open, he's hitting it. Yeah. And when there's nobody open, he's making a play and buying some time and getting somebody open anyways. So it is incredible what we've seen from the Tennessee Titans right now. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts. But Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, Lou Anarumo, Steichen, I'm happy for all those guys because I think they've been questioned a little bit. Either way, they're sitting there 3-0 and look like the best team in the AFC South for sure as we sit here right now.
And especially for Lou Anarumo. You get ran out of Cincinnati. And what I hated him getting ran out was a few years ago, we were talking about how great this guy is.
Right.
All his different calls, designing these different blitz packages and doing all these different things. And all of a sudden it's nope, he's not good. And now you put him in Indy, and no disrespect to anybody in Indy, I don't think we look at Indy's defensive roster and say anybody would be successful. No one's really saying
a lot of good but nothing
players.
Great. Right.
And I think he's scheming up. He's putting them in the right place. Kenny Moore's a guy that's always taking advantage of opportunity. Undrafted free agent that came in when I was in New England and he was crushed when he didn't make the team in New England, and all he's done is make play after play after play in Indianapolis. So a lot of good players, but when I've watched them on tape, their scheme, the simulated pressures, looking like everybody's coming on this side and then everybody drops
the other
out,
way.
the defensive tackle drop, just all these different things that Lou Anarumo's doing to make it hard. You knew it was going to be hard for Cam Ward today. Yeah. So a lot of credit goes to Daniel Jones, and that offense is going to get all the attention. This defense has showed up and made plays all throughout these first 3 games.
When you play the Colts, you better be ready, mentally, not only from your week of preparation, because you're going to be going against 2 really good coaches who know how to game plan, but how they adjust in the football game. I think that's what you got to look at. And right now, the Colts offense looks like it's borderline unstoppable with the way they're moving the ball and using everybody. They
just punted for the first time.
It was the first time all year they punted, right? And we showed that highlight in Football Night in America. All right, the shocker of the day: the Browns defeating the Packers 13-10. Nothing special here. Attack dogs, all right? Attack dogs from the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns defense is unreal. And in a lot of ways, thought that Green Bay really kind of played the game the right way for the most part of the day.
You talked about that during the game.
Right? We were watching it, and I'm going, you know what? I mean, this is not the day to we're going to sit back there and hold the ball and try to hit 50-yard passes like we saw last Thursday night against Washington or in Week 1 against Detroit. Because the Cleveland Browns pass rush is as good as anybody in the sport right now. Let alone, I think Schwartz. And I haven't watched them on film yet, which I want to watch. I mean, of course, they have the pass rush and some disruptors up front with Myles Garrett and everybody else. They got 2 corners that allow them to play man-to-man when they need to and feel good about it. But they also do some unique, different stuff on the defensive side of the ball and change up the look so much that it's hard for a quarterback or an offensive coordinator to ever get in a groove. And this Green Bay team that we've talked about through 2 weeks, I would have been like, yeah, they're the best team in football through 2 weeks. Nobody's looked more impressive than them. And even for today, even though it was ugly, I went, you know what? Play conservative. You got a great defense. Cleveland will mess it up at some point. We see Joe Flacco do something stupid every week. I really thought that would happen. He tried to at a few moments, but either way, they hung in there and pull off, the shocker of the day, winning 13-10.
You probably could argue the difference in this game was there were times where Myles Garrett stuck out.
Yeah.
Flashed, whether it was getting to the quarterback and getting a half a sack that he had, or it was a hit, or it was just a good rush. Do we really remember seeing that from Micah Parsons?
No. I'm glad you went there. I was going to say, today was the first game of the Packers with the Micah Parsons era where I went, he wasn't the best, most
dominant
defensive player on the field today. It was Myles Garrett.
And again, that's not to say he didn't still have an impact. Rashawn Gary's a really good player.
Yeah.
If you go in a game and you're like, Micah Parsons, and you think Rashawn Gary's not going to go, Rashawn Gary had a good day today. He had 2 sacks. So, maybe that was the impact of Micah Parsons, but Myles Garrett gets that every week.
Right.
You're always trying to block him. And I said
Right.
it last week. It amazes me how he continues to just get after the quarterback or get tackled for losses in the run game when every offensive coordinator comes in and starts the week off and they circle him on the screen and go, this guy, we got to block him. There has to be a plan. And he still does it. So, again, and I know you played quarterbacks, you might feel different. I still think Jordan Love's one mistake in the game was a better play by Grant Delpit than it was a bad play by Jordan Love. When I watched that play, Coach Belichick used to always tell us, if you're playing outside leverage on a receiver
and he runs
an
inside
inside route, if you can see through him and that quarterback's going to the next window, you can really make that play. And Grant Delpit, and again, I'm not in the meeting room.
But Delpit looked like he looks like he's a man, and he's got help inside, so he goes, I don't have to follow him in, and then he sees the quarterback's eyes, and he goes, he's going to the next slant, so let me sit there and wait for it.
I love it.
Was a great play.
But
It was a great play. You, as a quarterback, when you throw slants, that's what you got to be aware of a little bit, all right? So a little bit of that. And the only thing I would say is you're not wrong. It's not the most egregious play ever. It was a damn good play. But in that type of game, that my only thing would just be don't take any chances into any tight windows, especially in that moment. We hadn't seen Cleveland even get close to going down and scoring a touchdown. Right. So he throws that interception there. Delpit gets up off the ground, returns it to the 4-yard line. All of a sudden, it's holy shit, it's 10-10. And now we're in a football game here. And even with that, Green Bay finds a way to get themselves into field goal position to win the game at the end of the game. And Denzel Ward, who I got to think has probably blocked 4 or 5 field goals at least. He's
really good. The only other person I know that was like that was Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
That you had to, because usually for people that I don't know, there's a special teams coordinator. Every time there's a field goal, they have their stop clock out and they're like, all right, under 2 seconds. It has to be, because the only reason is you can beat the guy off the edge. Even if he's unblocked, if your timing is right, they won't get there. Man, Denzel Ward came off that edge.
His get off is unreal.
Rolling.
Unreal.
And I want to see it back on film of, was there a sign? Because sometimes those guys, instead of looking at the ball, they're looking at the holder. And they know a flash of the hands, 1 second, ball. So sometimes those guys are so locked in on, if you give them some kind of movement, they're going off of it, because all of that. The kick is all routine. So I love to see it on film, to actually watch it, to see if he saw something of why he had to get off like that.
Man, Browns snap an 8-game losing streak. Quinshon Judkins definitely looks like he's the best running back on their football team. He's the starter going forward. That just in, okay? That's another part of
18 of the
Hyundai.
19
Give me the
carries.
headlines right there. He's the guy going forward. And even on that blocked field goal, like I watched a few replays, it looks like they hey, get a hand on him, Denzel, as he goes around the edge. And the guy tried to, and he still got around so fast.
I think that was Tucker Kraft.
I
am not a fan.
Yeah, it looked like it was a tight end.
Of my starting tight end being that guy. Like, I mean, and again, I'm probably biased. I watched Rob Gronkowski get his arm broke on that, sticking his arm out. Somebody went to chop it down, broke his forearm.
Right.
Like, he's out now.
Yeah.
We got to have somebody else we can put there that they can lock in and say, I'm going to get cut if I don't do this.
It's funny how teams do that. You know who that guy was when the Giants and my dad's day and Bill was the D coordinator and everything?
Wanted outside
Lawrence
linebackers.
Taylor, right? Can you believe that? Lawrence Taylor was.
I don't even know if that's the best.
I don't know either, but they got it done. I don't remember everybody coming around the edge and blocking a field goal, so you must have done pretty good.
After Rob Gronkowski broke his arm, never saw him on field goal ever again.
That was done. That was it. But Browns, big win for them. Joe Flacco, everybody there. We know they've been through it. Great job by them. Biggest upset of the day, I think, by far. Nobody expected the Browns to beat the Green Bay Packers. All right, that was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. We always appreciate our friends over there sponsoring this segment. Thanks a lot. The Chiefs defeated the Giants 22-9. Just give you that a little bit. We'll break that down in a second, I guess. Do you want us to break it down now? We will. All right, let's hit it now.
There's not much.
There's not much. It was an ugly football game. The Chiefs still have issues on both sides of the ball. Yep. I've been thinking about, what do the Chiefs do going forward? Right, what do they do? Because it's Strugglesville, and he hit a few passes to Tyquan Thornton later in the football game to at least stretch the field a little bit. I think for me, the Chiefs need to do what I saw at the start of the third quarter, and I saw a little of it last week. If I'm them, without anything in their offense right now, and nobody other than Tyquan Thornton is going to scare anybody, I would just get into, let's let Mahomes just abuse teams with the quick game. Just be surgical. 6 yards here, 5 yards here. Here's a speed sweep. Here's a wide receiver screen. Here's a reverse. 4 yards here, 5 yards here. Let him just do it. Mm-hmm. He's the only thing they got going on their offense right now. I would let him and just see, at the end of the day, can he be 35 for 45 for maybe only 310 yards or whatever, right? Not a lot of yards down, but make people play that and just go, wow, he's just going to make one good read and good throw after another. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you could get some people now to be like, oh my gosh, they're just going to pick us apart. We got to start taking some chances. Mm-hmm. And now maybe you start getting some throws down the field. That's the only avenue I see. I don't know if there's anything else, any other way they can go. You would know more than me here with this one, but I just don't see a lot.
Is he that kind of quarterback?
I know. That's the question, too.
That's
right.
That's my only fear.
Yeah.
I was a part of a team like that. I was there in New England when, we played a defense and we played a style where Bill would come in and say, make a team drive 12 or 15 plays and beat us that way. I guarantee you they won't get to do it much. And I'm like, our offense, that's their game plan every week.
Exactly.
We want to have 15 play drives.
That's why you guys are special.
Yeah. And so I wonder, if they do that, then are we all sitting here man, they got to get something down the field because it's so hard drive after drive to think you're going to go 12, then 13, then hope we get a turnover so it's only 8 plays. That's hard, but there's something too if your defense can play solid enough defense.
That's what I'm saying.
And you hold on to the ball, time of possession, end up with touchdowns, and you can score 21 points a game, 20 points a game, but your defense only is going to need 6 stops in a game.
Right.
And if they get 2 turnovers now, we get 2 more possessions. There's something to it. And if there is a team that we would say can be disciplined enough, I would err on the side of saying the Chiefs.
We've seen a few of the drives this year do it. They did it the second half of this football game. We saw the long drive where Kelsey dropped the interception last week against the interception that he dropped. Right, that was another one. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because the Chiefs are not dominant in any way right now. I don't think you can look at them and go, "Ooh, they look like they're one of the better teams in football." It might happen, but I got questions for real. Now, the defense did some good things on that side of the ball, but again, I don't know how to feel about that totally. The Giants
they're bad.
They're not good. Yeah. Exactly right. And the Chiefs did the right things on the defensive side of the ball tonight. We heard Malik Neighbors.
You said it too before the game.
Malik Neighbors pregame, like, oh, we're expecting blitz, and so a lot of man-to-man. It's the Chiefs. And you heard me, I went, Steve Spagnuolo watched the film too last week. He's not going to put his guys man-to-man on Malik Neighbors and be like, oh, yeah, throw it up, Russell. The only thing it looks like you do right now is throw the deep ball good, so we're going to let you do that. With the one thing that can beat us.
Yeah, one time, and Russ threw it late, and it got picked off.
It got picked off.
It's the best opportunity. He did
the best opportunity. The one in the back of the end zone.
But that was the only time where you sit here and you're like, if you just throw the ball earlier, you finally got that one-on-one matchup outside.
Right.
Other than that, he threw a few down the middle and like
that was forced.
Double,
preconceived.
Triple coverage.
Like he was like, I'm going to throw this no matter what. Right. So yeah, the Giants. A good fight tonight, showed something there. Andrew Thomas back in the first half at left tackle did help out their football team a little bit. But, are they going to be able to run the ball consistently? I don't know. I like the way Scatterbill plays, but I don't sit here and go, oh, watch out for the Giants' run game. Yeah. I don't sit here and watch out. Russell Wilson will get it, and he's going to become a guy that's going to start picking defenses apart. No, what Russell Wilson is what we saw last week. If you let deep balls happen, he'll take it. But other than that, just like Pittsburgh last year, we all talked about the moon ball for a few weeks. And then like week 4, it was like, okay, they took away the moon ball. What are we going to do now?
All right, so here it is.
Yeah.
When do we see him?
Now. I think it's now.
Jackson Dart.
I think it's Jackson Dart time. I do. I think we're there. This week, the Giants got the Chargers. So do they want to throw them in that game? That's the only thing.
After we just praised that defense?
That's the only question. The week after that is the Saints. And the Saints in week 5 has always been the game I've gone, that's the game they'll start. Because, again, they want him to play and put his best foot forward.
And Russ helped them by how he played last week.
Exactly right.
And that might have bought you one more week.
Bought you one more week. But, yeah, do they feel good about throwing him out there against the Chargers and doing that to him? I don't know. That's a tough task. That is. Because that boring-ass offense, at least how they run it under Russell Wilson, is not going to do anything that is going to scare the Chargers defense in the back end with how well and creative they're coached, like we already talked about. Yeah. So, all right. Either way, Chiefs win 22-9. They got lots to work on.
Yeah, they have the Ravens, Jacksonville, and Lions in their next 3 games before Rashee Rice comes back.
Yeah, and I think Jacksonville's pretty damn good. We're going to talk about them here in a minute. All right. Next game. All right, this is not Patriots football here. This is Steelers defensive football. They like that, but the Steelers beat the Patriots 21-14. Kind of I don't know. It was a fun game to watch, actually.
New England moved the ball. Pittsburgh came out early.
Moved the ball.
Like they 14-0, right off the bat, and you're like, okay. Like, all right, Aaron Rodgers, like you came in here, like you guys are playing good ball. It looked like Drake May didn't really get comfortable. They got decent pressure on him to start the game.
Right.
And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, shit, the Patriots got in a groove. And it's like, interception. All right, but they'll be okay. Then they get back down there. Ramondre Stevenson is going in. I'm like, oh, man, good run, Mondre. It's like, he fumbled. So, like, 2 fumbles by Ramondre Stevenson, a fumble by – the closest backup to like an actual every down running back, Antonio Gibson, he fumbles, which I think then kind of turned because then the rookie Trevion Henderson gets in, and he's like,
he's scared as hell. He's not even going to make a play. Just don't fumble. Right.
And this is a quick, elusive, fast guy.
Yeah.
Like he can't play like that. Like we need you. So then Drake May has a fumble. It was just like everyone was like, hey guys, we got to try to lose this game. Unfortunate. We talked about it in the screening room. No, this is what young teams have to figure out. We can trust each other to make a play to win the game. Like Drake May after the game said he was trying to get the ball in a hand to flip it to Henderson. And that to me is a mentality of, all right, I threw an interception. We have 3 other fumbles. I got to make this play here and now instead of just being like, the play's not here, but it'll come.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles know that play will come. It might not be right now, and everybody else is panicking. They're booing us, but the play will come. The Patriots didn't know that today. They didn't trust that somebody would make the play for the team, and each guy tried to make it and ended up making a mistake.
Yeah, the Patriots are young. They look like a young team that just, hasn't figured out how to, like you said, win, whatever. They're just, it's messing up little certain situations. They outplayed the Steelers today. They should have won the football game. I mean, you said the Stevenson fumble. That leads to the first touchdown for the Steelers. Gives them a short field, give them a little confidence. Their only, real long good drive of the day was the 12-play, 90-yard drive that put him up 14-0, where he throws the ball to DK Metcalf into good coverage. After that moment right there, it was just 3 and out. Aaron Rodgers yelling at people. Not sure they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything like that. But, like you said, it was the Patriots' mistake after mistake. The fumble in the end zone, the tip pass interception where I know Cam Hayward made a nice play, but Drake May did not throw the appropriate ball there. I think both you and I both thought, that ball looked like it was going to get intercepted even if it didn't get tipped.
And this was, 2 plays after he bangs his head on the turf,
right? That we were like,
we thought the spotter should have,
maybe taken him
hit
out,
the tent real quick,
grabbed his head, did all of that. Not giving up on the Patriots. Certainly, they've messed some things up. They got caught, at home in Week 1 against the Raiders. Played better against the Dolphins, but still messed some things up in that football game too.
Defense played better today.
They did, and the Steelers 2-1. Again, this is not sustainable. I don't think. I don't
think they want to play this way.
They can't want to play this way.
It's amazing. They have 5 takeaways in this game. They won by 7.
I know.
You have 5 takeaways.
You should win by 27. Yeah. I get you. The defense still has issues. The defense still couldn't get off the field today. This defense still too many easy throws and completions throughout the day. Yeah, they did a little bit better against the run, but also the offense. They had no answers for the Patriots defense today for a period of time there. It was tough. I mean, they're not running the ball really all that well, and then they're another team that I feel like I sit here and go, who's going to be the guy? I mean, we know DK Metcalf, but if he doesn't show up, who else is it going to be?
How much can they rely on?
And that's what we saw today. Like they took him out of the game, and it was like, okay, well, everything seems like a struggle.
It's Jalen Warren at every down kind of back that they can, give the ball to 20 to 25 times. I don't know.
Yeah, we got a few teams I think we look at it as top-tier football teams and go, they're missing an offensive weapon or two to take them over the hump here. We'll see where that goes. All right, let's talk Jaguars-Texans. Talk about another game with ugly offense, mistakes, anything you want to talk about that. Jaguars win 17-10. I thought were maybe the better team throughout the day, but not by so much to where they made a few mistakes. And I went, hey, the Texans are about to, take advantage of that and win this football game. But the Texans make mistakes. They can't get out of their way either. It was a day full of, I guess, some iffy quarterback play and certainly iffy offensive play, but I do think these are two defenses that are pretty damn good and have some talent.
I thought that stuck out too. I thought the defenses were running around making plays. I think we already knew what Houston was. And, shout out to our guy, Campanelli, goes out to Jacksonville, a Jersey guy, grew up and coached high school and all of that right in our area.
Right in our area, right.
And they talked about it. His aggressive nature has fit in well with Jacksonville and how they're trying to play, and it sticks out for them, and their defense has stepped up. My concern right now in Houston is Bobby Slowick comes and C.J. Stroud, unbelievable rookie year.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. Come back the next year. Slowick's the issue. Now you go hire Nick Caley. You change the offensive line, bring in new coaches. There's still an issue.
No,
so, is this schematically?
I know.
Or do we need to see more out of C.J. Stroud in these situations of whatever that looks like?
Yeah, right.
Maybe more time in the meeting room with the coaches.
Right.
Is it the offensive line is the issue? This just seems crazy that this continues to be a problem for how to protect him. And it's not just that they miss the one-on-one block. Sometimes it seems like
it's blown assignments. Right. Yeah, it's a little of everything.
Yeah.
They're not functioning at a high level on the offensive side of the ball in any way with anything. And they're another team. I didn't watch the film last week against the Bucs in the Monday night game, so I haven't seen that. Week 1, I did watch the Rams game. It was basic. There wasn't people open, right?
Yep.
So I took that into week 2. I'll see. I'm going to definitely watch this one back a little bit at some point here. They're either Tuesday or Wednesday. But I do come away, at least watching on TV, saying the same thing that the homies have heard me say here before. I don't see replays and go, oh, man, he missed this guy. Mm-hmm. Man, Nico was open, or this receiver was open. I can't believe he didn't hit it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have no run game. Like you said, pass protection's an issue. And yeah, I don't see a lot of easy slam dunk throws for C.J. Stroud. And then I think because of that, he falls into a little bit of trap of, like you talked about with Drake May, of trying to make a play, jumpstarting the football team that way. And I think they're all doing that. I mean, it kind of felt like they were in control or going to have control of the football game. Here they go. It was I think Trevor had just thrown the interception, and then Nico Collins fumbles that next drive, right? Catches the ball in the middle.
Next drive or 2 drives.
Right around that area. But you felt like, ooh, hey, they got control of the game here again. Let's see where it goes.
We were talking about how bad the Trevor Lawrence interception was because they were in control of the game.
Exactly. Trevor still has some moments of, like, in the Jacksonville offense, of you going, damn, that's shaky. And damn, they dropped some balls. And he makes some throws and decisions that aren't there. They're 2-1. And they could easily be 3-0. I'm more encouraged with the Jaguars. I don't know what's going to happen with the Texans, right? The Jaguars, I can sit here and go, hey, the offense is shaky. We know the Texans' defense is damn good, right? Yep. We do know that. The Jags' defense is good, but I'm not ready to say it's the Texans level good yet.
I agree with you.
And C.J. Stroud and them are unable to move the ball at all, and really through 3 football games. Yeah, that's a little concerning. It definitely
now
is.
0-3, like. It's hard to make the playoffs
You're
now.
Pressing
0-3, you know what I mean? Especially you got one undefeated team in your division, and then you just lost to a 2-1 team in your division.
Yeah, the team I picked to win the AFC South is not looking that way. Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt right now. The Colts are the best team in the AFC South. You take the Jaguars second, and then we get into
you're winning by default at that point.
Exactly right. Yeah, Houston at 3 by default. All right, we got a few more games to break down. We'll wrap up week 3 right after this. Yo, what up? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. I'm here with my man DMac, Devin McCourty. We're hanging. It's backup baller time, right? Because we had a lot of fucking backup quarterback. I was a backup baller at one point. That's what I was, right? I hated being a backup. It sucked, right? And, like, being a backup's not easy. Especially if the guy gets hurt, like in week 6 or 7 or 8, and you haven't done shit in 7 or 8. And all of a sudden you're
only good when you get to only be the backup.
And you're like, wait, I got to come in and play well, and I haven't had a rep in practice in forever, and the whole team. It's not easy, especially middle game. Okay, if you get a week to prepare, that's a different thing. But it even in that's not easy, and I give some of these guys credit for what we saw today. Let's start with the Commanders right off the bat. Marcus Mariota had a good day. Mm-hmm. The Commanders really controlled the football game from get-go here. Special teams is a big play. First, to start the day, Debo almost returned the kickoff, right, down to about the 10-yard line, and that was just a thing, a sign of things to come for the rest of the day for Washington.
Yeah, and you said it while we were watching the game of Washington is finding ways to run the ball.
They are.
Like McNichols, I'm not going to sit here like it's great blocking. He broke 8 tackles. It's ridiculous. But if you go back to week 1 in the Giants game, offense and Jaden Daniels didn't get in a good groove. And then Korsky Merritt end up having big plays. He broke some runs. So they're figuring out a way to win and play good football. And I thought that's what we saw today. Hey, we're going to have a punt return for a touchdown. We'll have a big kickoff. Yeah. Hey, we're going to make it. And Jason Garrett said it today in the screening room of sometimes when these backups get in, the whole team says, let's rally.
Yeah.
Let's all
we got to be on our
up.
game today.
Everybody play good ball. And again, talking about being a backup is hard, but especially you're backing up a guy like Jaden Daniels and you're Marcus Mariota. Like you were once like that guy. Number 2 pick in the draft, all of that stuff. Right. So credit to him being a true veteran. He stepped in last year in Dallas and played well. Played well at home today for Washington to get a win over a team like the Raiders that would have been a bad loss to lose.
Definitely a bad loss.
Traveling from the West Coast.
1 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. You got to win those games.
I think that's why it's great that you always have a quarterback that has a similar skill set to your starting quarterback.
Yes. Yep.
The offense doesn't really have to change. You can still stress the defense out the same way you intended to stress the defense out the previous 2 weeks. It doesn't make the offensive coordinator go, oh, wait, I don't have this element that I had with Jaden Daniels. Okay, wait, I still have it with Marcus Mariota. It might not be as great as it is with Jaden Daniels, but the defense still has to respect all the things we do schematically the same way, and I think that's where it works. And, of course, Mariota with his experience and the way he throws, I mean, if you're open, he hits it. But this is a team win, like you said. And I think overall, too, after the way they played on defense last week, letting up all those big pass plays and big plays to the Green Bay team, right? It was a good bounce back for their defense. And we're going to see about the Raiders. We're going to see. The Raiders defense, pain in the ass. Do they have enough big-time players over there? I don't know. I would say no, really. That's what I want to say. I think they're coached well. I don't know if they have enough big-time players. On the offensive side of the ball, they need another big-time player or two, too. And I'm just so far, I'm not in love with what I see from the Chip Kelly offense. I mean,
so that's what I was going to say. What is their identity?
What is their offense? What is it? They can't really run the ball. They're not creative in the run game. Jetty doesn't look anything special. The first week was what? Just aggressive. We attacked
Patriots,
downfield.
To me, that was I didn't like their game plan.
Right.
Like they were like, we're gonna blitz, we're gonna run 5-man pressures, and they're like, what?
We'll just one-on-ones and throw it downfield. Right.
Chargers said no.
Yeah.
Every pass is gonna be. You're not gonna complete a pass over 10 yards.
Right.
And then Washington, he threw the ball better, no turnovers. Yeah, 300 yards, but like you're also trailing in the game, so you have to do those things. I don't think that's how they want to play.
No.
I don't know if they know how they want to play.
No, those are fake stats. 289, 3 touchdowns. They were all like in the competitive part of the game. They never gotten any rhythm as an offense. That's why they were down 34-10. Yeah, we'll see where it goes with the Raiders there. But they're a team right now that, other than Brock Bowers and a little Jacoby Myers, and I don't think Brock Bowers is healthy yet either here. Well, they just don't have a lot that scares you. I think that's the bottom line. They thought Ashton Genty was going to be able to be that guy, and he's not to this point. That's for sure. Commanders go 2-1. Big win for them with the backup quarterback. I think we're going to have Jaden Daniels back next week, and they'll be dangerous. All right, the Vikings, the battle of the backups right here. Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning.
Who would have thought Carson Wentz to still start a game in the NFL?
It's not. I mean, not only that, but then be a part of a game here where they just whoop the crap out of the other team. I mean, that's what I think is shocking more than anything. I mean, this thing was over in a hurry here in Minnesota. The Bengals did not show up, and you talked about the Isaiah Rodgers plays and fumbles and everything that way. Almost the same thing you just said with Washington. It's like the team was like, hey, we better get our stuff together. They ran the ball well, and the defense made a lot of big plays and turnovers that helped them win the football game.
And this is just, when Joe Burrow goes down, and I did an interview, and I said, Burrow, one of his biggest issues is the way that Cincinnati has built this team.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of flack of like, we invested in this and that. And I said it in the offseason. I didn't think T. Higgins should have been a priority to bring back. I thought there were way too many question marks that you can't
on the
bring
rest of the team.
Yeah, we our goal has to be to win. We had T. Higgins here. T. Higgins had a great year. Jamar Chase had the best year of any receiver. Joe Burrow had arguably the best year of any quarterback. We didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
So now we run it back. And now we lose him, and people are like, well, that's because he holds the ball. We won't see that issue with Jake Brown, and I know, because you're seeing so many other damn issues with Jake Brown that you don't see with Joe Burrow. So you get in this game.
Can you believe that was a thing? I had the same people ask me the same questions, too.
My whole thing is,
why does he get the ball out of his hands quicker?
He holds the ball because he's productive.
Right.
Like, I just don't get when people say, like, yes, you can find a bad thing. Brady's a system quarterback, whatever that means. Like, Peyton Manning, they didn't run enough routes or concepts. Who can, like, these guys are productive in what they do. Build around what they do great. So now you get in this game, and, like, the Bengals have no shot for the rest of the year. This defense that we continue to say is not improved.
Right.
They got turnovers in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And I
outplayed the first 2 weeks.
Turnovers are awesome. They're the best way to win football games. But if you don't play good defense and you only bank on them making a mistake, some games the team's not going to make as many mistakes.
Right. It's not sustainable like we talked about.
It's going to steamroll you.
Right. They got steamrolled today. and their offense just continued to make problems, whether it was the pick six, Noah Fant fumbling, then Isaiah Rodgers picks it up for the 66-yard touchdown. Minnesota gets the run game going with Jordan Mason. That's a big thing. I think he can bring something to that offense here until J.J. McCarthy gets back and Jordan Addison gets back, because let's not forget, they don't have him in the lineup right now either, and he's pretty damn good number 2 receiver to Justin Jefferson when they have Jordan Addison in there. But, yeah, I'm worried about the Bengals.
Hey, I know the Eagles are still winning, but you think they probably should have kept Isaiah Rodgers?
What? over Adoree Jackson? Yep. 100%. Isaiah Rodgers, all because of the gambling suspension. People don't realize how damn good he is. He was good on the Colts. He was good on the Eagles last year at the end of the year. And our man B. Flo, he knows corners when he sees them.
I asked Flo.
I'll take
he
said, flat.
I like my corners.
Right. Yeah, good for him.
They ran a lot of pressures, what they always do, different guys up there on the line. And for Jake Browning, like, it's good when Burrow used to come to the sideline and you can talk about, hey, what'd you see? This is what I saw. It's different being out there when those guys are all up on the line of scrimmage. Just he didn't play well last week. Like, don't get it. Jake Browning didn't come in and play well. And you said it. No. It's hard to come in and do that.
It is.
He threw 3 interceptions last week.
Right.
Like, that's not a good start. And then they didn't help him. The guys didn't help him fumbling the ball. Jamar Chase, Fant. Like, you can't do that with a backup quarterback.
No, definitely not. Bengals 2-1, really have been outplayed in all 3 games. We'll see where it goes. Vikings 2-1. And got some question marks. We'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I got a little more faith in the Vikings as a total football team than I do the Cincinnati Bengals right now. Next one, all right? We must protect this house. Okay, Bears. Get off the schneid. I'm happy for the Bears. 31-14, they beat the Cowboys. Caleb Williams probably has his best game as an NFL quarterback. And, again, I don't give a shit if they were 0-2. I think it's getting better on the offensive side of the ball. They got weapons on that side of the ball. But more importantly, I'm just happy they got a win, because I feel like that might have been the most under pressure team in all of football.
Yeah.
Between everybody being on Ben Johnson, he's made some mistakes. I know that. I'm not trying to give him a free pass.
Which is going to happen.
For a rookie head coach. Yeah. Caleb's hasn't been perfect, but been doing some good things here. You know, but man, they were under a lot of scrutiny in the national media, the Chicago media. I mean, I know there was pressure going into that game today, and man, the offense showed out against the Cowboys defense that is just not good. But either way, Caleb Williams looked awesome, and the Bears offense looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, how long can the Cowboys defense do this and play this way?
Right.
Like this, it's ridiculous. Like Dak Prescott didn't have as good of a game as I thought he had in the first 2 weeks.
Right.
But, like, this guy's been playing good ball overall, but you can't see it because every time the offense gets the ball back, it's like, damn, we just gave up another big play for a touchdown. Damn, we just gave up a long drive. It's just they haven't stopped anything. Like, I mean, Chicago didn't run the ball well, I guess, so you could give them that. But when you stop the run, it means you turn the team to be one-dimensional is how you kind of want to play.
Yes.
But it seems like for Dallas, like, the last thing you want to do is have teams throw the ball because the ball's just going over their head over and over. And the crazy thing is they're playing all zone. Where, like, when you're in zone, you got your eyes on the quarterback and you're told just don't let the guy run by you. I mean, I think a lot of pressure's on Trayvon Diggs. You got paid a lot. You're the guy on defense. Every week we can't see you involved in a play with the ball going over your head. Like,
right.
You just can't do that. And so far, that's him. Other than week 1.
Right, where he didn't play a lot.
Yeah,
right.
It's been him. And you said it. We thought he looked great in week 1.
Yeah.
Coming off with, the injury.
Right.
What he was
Looks
dealing
healthy.
with all season.
Right.
He looked fine. But it just has not looked good these last 2 weeks.
No, Bear fans are definitely happy that Matty Eberflus is coaching the Cowboys defense rather than their defense. I think that solidified that for them there. Like, Cowboys had a chance to maybe put pressure on the Bears early on in the football game. Let's not forget, they were driving to start the game. Javonte Williams gets stripped by Tyreek Stevens. As
ball taken from him.
Taken from after what? Maybe a 15, 20-yard run, right? Down the left sideline, taken away from him. That results into instant points for the Chicago Bears. And one of those plays, like you were just talking about, they did play man with Trayvon Diggs. He tries to like obliterate
hand, yeah.
Roma Dunze at the line of scrimmage, misses the jam a little bit, then trips and stumbles and lets up a 35-yard touchdown pass down the sidelines. But Ben Johnson, the flea flicker play, that was big. The Bears got some people on the offensive side of the ball. Yep. If they get this Luther Bird in the third going, who's a weapon and can do some things, and I think the Bears fans saw that today, along with Odunze, I like DeAndre Swift. We saw Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland have a little part in the game. You look at it and go, man, the Bears offense, like they should be able to put up points and score and put yards, up there every week. That's for sure. The defense is still a little bit of a work in progress. They've disappointed me a little bit.
They got good pressure on Dak today, and because the Cowboys defense played so poorly, it made the Cowboys kind of turn into being one-dimensional.
It did.
They came out, and you said it, with Javonte Williams running the ball, but at some point, like he had 10 carries for 76 yards.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You see that, you're like, why don't give him the ball more? You can't. Because you're down.
Yeah.
So I think once they turned one-dimensional, then Chicago got to play a certain way. They were able to make some plays, got some interceptions, got after Dak a little bit. But, I mean, I think this is what we saw Ben Johnson. This is what he does well. Hey, the Cowboys play a certain style. They play a lot of zone. They play this way.
Ben
Johnson's like, oh, this is what you're going to do?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Watch this.
Right.
And that's why you hired him. And today was a day you got to see that. And I think the more time him and Caleb spend together, this is how, like, I think now soon or maybe towards the end of the year, you're going to see Caleb when he watches film. He's going to know what Ben Johnson's thinking.
Right.
Then they're going to meet, and you're going to start to see that. Right now,
it's
what
early.
Caleb Williams was doing compared to what Ben Johnson wants to do, that shit was so far opposite.
Right.
They're moving closer and closer each week.
Caleb's still in first grade class, and Ben's in junior year algebra. He's like, hey, not there quite yet. The other thing that we talked about during the game that we liked what the Bears defense did, just to hit on that before we move. It felt like they played off coverage.
Yes.
They were like, we're not going to let you throw bombs to Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. We're going to make you work your way down the football field. And I feel like at times Dallas can be a little impatient with that approach.
Yeah.
They're a little bit of a big play offense. So at least
especially
I feel
when
like
your
they look
defense
for
is
it.
giving up.
And then when your defense is giving up big plays, you look for that.
Feel like it.
Right, definitely. Big win for the Bears at home. They get off the schneid, 31-14. All right, the Seattle Seahawks. They demolished the New Orleans Saints 44-13 on the road. Another team here that I think we just go right into special teams right off the bat to start the football game. Special teams, turnovers created. I mean, a total team win for the Seattle Seahawks and what they did there.
This is a type of game that, like, we should have had to start our stopwatch and be like, you got 45 seconds to discuss this disgrace of a football game we watched. I mean, from the opening, like, it was just, all right, Seattle gets it, drive down, offense, script your plays, go score. Jackson Smith and Jigba scores. Okay, cool. Punt the ball, 90-something yard punt return, and then it was just off to the races.
It was off to the races.
It was like New Orleans, like, we didn't come to play today.
No.
We had to take this long trip. We don't want to be here.
People fold in a hurry up in Seattle when you get down. They just say, see ya.
My brother called that game, and he texted me at some point during the game like, man, I wish I could go home right now. This shit is horrible. Like, nothing worse than calling a blowout from the beginning of the game. Just no thrill, no anything. You're just over there talking about how great Seattle is because New Orleans looks so bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to run them through. Like you said, good first drive, 95-yard punt return after a few plays and a punt by the New Orleans Saints. Okay, right after that, New Orleans gets it back, blocked punt. Right, in their own area, which really should have been picked up for a touchdown, but they didn't. Either way, they scored 2 plays later to make it 21-0. The Saints go get a field goal to make it 21-3, but on the next kickoff, the Seahawks have a huge kick return, and 2 plays later score another touchdown to go up 28-3 at that moment, and that was all she wrote. The game was over. It was big plays after that. They did whatever they wanted, and at one point, the game was 44-6, right, in the third quarter.
Simms, the Seahawks have 44 points on only 54 offensive
It's incredible. I mean, like I said, it's 44-6 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. They called the dogs off. We both like that Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
I think watch out for that. And if they can, this is 2 weeks in a row now, the Seahawks offense looks like they got something going here under Clint Kubiak's tutelage there. I hope that works.
I picked them to win a division, so I hope it works too.
I mean, that ain't a crazy pick. You're looking all right there so far. That's a competitive division, though, there out in the NFC West. All right, Panthers-Falcons, 30-0. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I picked the Falcons to win, of course. Would I have been shocked if you said, hey, the Panthers won the football game? No. But would I have been shocked if you said the Panthers won the football game 30-0? I would have gone, well, wait. Did Bijan Robinson and Penix get hurt in the football game? Like, there's no way they lose 30-0. Horrible, horrible showing by the Atlanta Falcons. And here, I feel like we can almost wrap it up just like this. Falcons, first drive, missed field goal, give a short field to the Panthers, touchdown. Falcons, second drive, missed field goal, give short field to the Panthers, field goal. Falcons, nothing happens for a while. Okay, now we're in the third quarter. They're backed up. Nobody's open because nobody's ever seems to be open in Atlanta right now. That's the number one question. You listened to me on the podcast last week. I have questions about Zach Robinson and that offense, but either way, Penix throws a pick six. It's 17-0, and that kind of felt like it was game over right there in the third quarter.
They didn't know how to pick themselves back up. And I don't know if this was a little bit coming in of saying, all right, we show what we can do Sunday night. We beat Minnesota. You know, we won the battle of the young studs, quarterbacks. Oh, we're going to go crush Carolina. Like, I don't know if it was that mentality, because I agree with you. Like, it's a gut punch when you struggle with a kicker and then you move on from Younghoe Koo. You bring in, you know, Parker Romo. He kicks well. You win. He hits, I think, 5 field goals Sunday night, and you think you're good, and then he opens up and misses 2 field goals. But then at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you're still like, it's 10-zip. Like, let's go. And they never got going. And that's the only thing. And Zach Robinson's the guy, he came into New England when I was there, spent time with Sean McVay. You would think, like, this is how they want to move. I'm not in love with what they have there. I think you have to have a certain type of offense. You have big body guys, probably not going to get a ton of separation.
Yeah, they're not, right.
I know we thought maybe Mooney coming back would help, but so far it's been Bijan Robinson or nothing for this offense. I think they got to try to figure that out. Like, when you were in Rams, you had a Cooper Kupp. You had some different guys who could get open, understood route running. They had Robert Woods there for a little while. So I don't know. They got to figure something out. But that was just a big letdown to perform well like that in primetime. 1 o'clock game, you know, no one's really watching, and that's how you perform.
Yeah, laid an egg.
Laid
an egg. And even though they performed the way they did in primetime last week, it was a lot of field goals.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Still not a lot of
very
sexy
true.
plays on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I do feel like they give up on the run game a little quick at times, where I go, wait, there was 2 or 3 runs by Bijan, and then I'm like, wait, they didn't give him the ball the last 5 plays? Like, what happened? Like, what the hell happened? It just feels like they fall into that.
Like we talked about with Tampa earlier. Like, they didn't get the run game going.
No, but they stay with it.
Bucky's still 25
Exactly
carries.
right. I don't understand. He does not get enough touches in the run game to me, Bijan Robinson, and I think it's one of the strengths of their team. And if you're not going to be able to throw the ball really well, then you need to ride that run game. All right, we did it.
We're rolling.
We're all done. I'm not rolling. I'm tired now. I'm just 12:20 a.m. I got to get up in 4 hours, all right, or 5 hours. 5 hours and 10 minutes to do PFT. But as always, I appreciate you, man. You're the best.
Likewise.
My Sunday night pal, all right? You know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. Get at me and McCourty on social media. Anything you want to hear from us, dissect more, we'd be happy to answer that. That's what we do. All right, homies, enjoy Monday Night Football. It's going to be awesome. Ravens, Lions, I'm pumped for that. And I don't have to get up early Tuesday morning, but you do.
I'll be there on PFT breaking it down.
Yeah, break it down. All right, everybody, be good. Monday, I got a little leftover pod, probably 20, 25 minutes. That'll be out too. All right, everybody, be good. We'll see you. See you Tuesday with Connor Rogers. Peace out, homies. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.